Okay, okay, here we are. We are finally live. Hello, you guys. Hello, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you, Irina, and happy Saturday to everyone else who is about to join us. How you guys doing? I'm so happy to be here with you today. And today is a very special lesson, guys. I prepared something for you today that I've never prepared before. And I'm so happy and I really can't wait. I really can't wait to begin. So let me see if everything is fine. Let me have a little sound check to make sure. Let me see if everything is fine. Yeah, okay, so the sound check works. Okay, everything is fine. And we are about to begin. So today, as I said, is a very special lesson because we are going to talk about something different. Usually our lessons are like divided into two separate parts, right? A Q&A session and like a 30 minutes of vocabulary challenge. Today we may do the vocabulary challenge, but the first half an hour will be dedicated to the psychology of a good pronunciation. Like how important it is. We're going to understand why your mind doesn't want you to speak in English. We're going to understand why or like is accent the simple pronunciation? What's a good pronunciation? Why is it important? Do you need to have a B2 level in order to speak a good English? And how mindfulness can help you become more fluent. Oh yes, this is all we're going to talk about today. And if you like it, if you're up for it, let me know down here in the comments. Let me know if this is something you're interested to know. Because if you don't, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. Well, hello Adele, happy Saturday to you too. So today is going to be a very important lesson, okay? You don't want to miss it for nothing in the world. So get ready, and if you want to, take notes, because today you are about to learn something very, very important. The first thing you're going to learn is that you don't need to be an expert in English to have a good pronunciation. The next thing you're going to learn is that a good pronunciation has nothing to do with how much you know this language. And lastly, you're going to learn exactly what to do starting from today. I'm going to give you some practical tips to bring your English alive. Your English, yes, even if you know 4 words, you'll be able to bring them alive. You'll be able to know what to do in order to start using those 4 words and making them become 8 and then 16, 32, 64 and so on. So let's begin, right? So first of all, your mind doesn't want you to speak English. Your mind doesn't want it. That's right. Yes. The only reason why you are not speaking English yet is because your mind is against it. And hello, Lolly. Hello from France. Hello to everybody in France. Hello to have all the French people around. And that's okay. That's okay if you're late. That's okay because we have just started. And I'm sure that you too, Lolly, are going to be very interested into this topic. So, your mind doesn't want you to speak English. And the problem is all here, all right? Why is that? Why is it? It's very simple. Because, my friend, your native language is another one. So you have been speaking Italian, you have been speaking French, you have been speaking Spanish, Indian, or Hindi, or any other language for quite a long time. So right now, your mind just wants to be, the right word is coherent, which means your mind wants to do what it's always done. Your mind wants to do what's best for you. So speaking a language you don't know feels very strange. And for this reason, your mind doesn't want you to speak English. That's right. So today we're going to learn how to change this. Today we're going to learn how and what to do to make your mind your friend. This way, you too will be able to speak a good English. Now, next, the first question that comes to mind when we're talking about pronunciation is, what's the difference between pronunciation and accent? Is there any difference? Are they the same? And is it better to have good pronunciation, or is it better to have good accent? What accent should I choose? So many questions, right? That's okay. That's okay. I'm sure you guys have these questions because I had those questions too. I definitely, surely had those questions as well. And only the moment I realized what was important for me, that was the moment I started to become more fluent. I started to speak better English or English at all. And I also started to have a pretty good pronunciation. How do you do that? Well, first of all, my friend, you want to realize that accent and pronunciation are different, and one is more important than the other one. Yes. Let's begin with accent. Accent is something everybody on earth has. Yes, because it depends on where you are in the world. Lolly is going to have a French accent, and it's okay. And I actually have an Italian accent, and it's okay too. And I don't see anybody else right now here at the moment. But you who are watching this, you have your accent because you're coming from another part of the world that is not America, it's not England, and it's not Australia, and it's okay. It's okay. You only say it's always better to have a good pronunciation, I think. We'll see. That's what we're going to find out. But I have to tell you that you are on the right track, Lolly. Yes. But let's go from step to step, okay? So for example, or better, why do you think, Lolly, that a good pronunciation is better than just a good accent? Because pronunciation is what makes you understand, right? So let's put it in another way. I'm sure that just like in Italy, also in France, and in many other parts of the world, everywhere, I guess, there are many different accents within the same language. So a part of Indian people would not understand other parts of India because of a different accent. Or a part of France has a different accent than another part of France. For example, I know that people from Paris have a particular accent, and if you're not from Paris, they think you are different, right? Just like in Italy, there are million accents in Italy, but like an Italian person who lives and speaks with an northern Italian accent has a very different accent from a person coming from the southern part of Italy. It's still Italian, but it's very different. So why would you want to pick an accent? Why? And well, this comes from the huge variety of people speaking a language. Like right now we want to learn English, and you know that there's a British English, American English, Australian English, and something else English too, right? So you want to just generally pick the one you're most attracted to, and you start perceiving that having that accent means speaking good English. But that's not the case, my friend. Now, hello Mowas, how you doing? It's good to see you here. So you say, what's the meaning of whereas possible? I cannot find out the correct meaning. Well, whereas possible is just a way to say when is possible. Yeah, that's all. That's the way I would use it, at least, like, whereas I can meet with you whereas possible, and whereas possible. Now let's go ahead with what we were talking about, right? The difference between accent and pronunciation, right? I'm sure moonwalks, I'm sure you're interested too. Now, so, accent and pronunciation, here they are, okay? So we just understood accent. What is pronunciation? Just like Lolly said before, and hello Adam, welcome with us. Just like Lolly said before, pronunciation is the ability of being understood. That's it, yes, is the ability of being understood. So if you live in Italy and you want to be understood, you will speak Italian rather than your accent. If you're in France and you want to be understood, you will speak French, not just a particular accent. And this is true from anywhere else in the world. For example, moonwalks. Where are you from? Let me know so I can get your country as an example as well. Meanwhile, we want to understand now that the pronunciation is what's the most important thing, just like you, Lolly, said before, and it's absolutely true. What does it mean? What is it, pronunciation? Pronunciation, my friend, is just sounds. It's sounds that another person understands. That's all. That's all there is to pronunciation. There's nothing else. It just sounds you understand. Right now you understand me, probably without any subtitles, because you understand the sounds I'm making. That's all. That is all. This means that even if you know 4 words, 1, 2, 3, 4 words, if you speak those 4 words with the sound everybody understands, then you have a good pronunciation. Yes. Yes, right? So this is good pronunciation. It's just sound. And just like we said for other countries like Italy and France, the saying goes for English. You don't want to pick the British accent or the American accent or the Aussie accent, which is the Australian accent. You want to pick an English that is international. Because guys, thanks, really, this is awesome. The very fact that now English is spoken everywhere in the world means that even the accent is mixed. Even the accent is mixed. So as long as you are pronouncing the sounds of the English language in a way that is understandable, a way that is internationally understood, you're good to go, my friend. You're good to go. You don't need anything else. Yes, it's true. So, why is it so important to have a good pronunciation? Well, we said before, we made the example of you knowing just 1, 2, 3, and 4 words, okay? Now, if you know 4 words and you say them right, let's say, for example, hello, how's it going? No, hello, how is it going? 5. Hello, how is it going? Okay, this is 5 words. Okay, hello, how is it going? Now, if I say to you, hello, how's it going? What happens? If I say that with sounds you understand, if I say them with sounds you understand, you will reply to me and you're gonna say, hello, my friend. Today is going fine. Hello, my friend. Today is going fine. 7 words, okay? This means you have the possibility now to know another 7 words. Now, what is 5 plus 7? I understand that this is a little too much, right? So I know 5 words, and you give me 7 new words. What's the total? Now, I know 12 words, right? I know 12 words. Now, what happens with these 12 words? Now I know how to say hi. I know how to answer back. Not only that, because the other person understood me, it smiled at me. And because they smiled at me, now I have the perception that I'm speaking a good English. I only know, 7 words in total? No, sorry. I only know 12 words in total, but I know them. I know those words. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if I keep on speaking, I may know some more ones. So let's do a little math together. I go around speaking with another person, which gives me a lot more energy and positivity. But most of all, it makes you believe I can speak English, right? And because I can speak English, I can speak with more people, which in turn makes me have, instead of 12, they multiply. So they become 24. All right? And this what happens. This makes me speak some more. And I'm going to multiply these two. And now, instead of 24, now they're 48. And now I can speak some more. Actually, with 48 words, I can have quite a decent conversation. So my 48 words will make me gain double once again the words I had. So now they are 96, right? 96. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 conversations, right? 4 conversations, and I went from 5 to 96 words because of the power of a good pronunciation. What did we say? What did we say? It is a good pronunciation? Sounds. Sounds is the basis of English. Keep this in mind, guys. Keep this in mind because we're going to talk about this later today. All right? So, as you can see, you don't need to be a B2 in order to speak this language and have a good pronunciation. Actually, it's the opposite. I met so many B2 English speakers who were totally unable to speak this language. And then I met many more other people having just a very humble B1, but having a very good pronunciation because they were exchanging good sounds with the other person, becoming B2 and greatly surpassing those B2 speakers who were waiting to be B2, were waiting to have a certificate in their hands before taking care of their pronunciation. Your pronunciation is way more important than how much you know. So Adam is saying, in my case, I understand almost everything what you say, Albert, but I still have problems with speaking fluently. But that's why I'm here, to change that. You got it, my friend. You got it. Besides, you're part of my community. You're part of my private community. You know you're doing the right things. You know, because you're inside the course that's bringing you from your zero state to their hero state. So you know what it takes. Of course, it takes time, practice, like anything in life, anything, okay? But like Lolly just said, it's exponential. Yes, it is. It is exponential. Exponential means basically that instead of multiplying, instead of adding, you multiply, and in a matter of just a little bit of time, you become very, very fluent. And it's all because you're giving out, you're pronouncing very good sounds. So now back to us, right? Back to us, because this is all good, this is beautiful, this is powerful. But Albert, just like you said, Adam, I understand almost everything you say and I agree with everything you said so far, but, right, I still have problems. Why is that? Well, let's put aside for a second what you're doing right now, because you're doing the right things, okay? But just 1 month before, right? 1 month before, you were right at this point saying, why don't I have the pronunciation I want? We are just as good as we think we are, right? Now, I'm going to actually write this down, okay? I'm going to write this down because is paramount, which means very, very important. We are as good as we think we are. Think, all right? Look how many times I'm underlining this word. Wow. We are as good as we think we are. Yes. Now let me tell you what happened the moment I realized that. As I was in Florida, I was learning this language, and well, my pronunciation was bad, okay? My pronunciation was really bad, was typical Italian, but the most typical possible. Like, if you kind of know me, if you've been watching my videos, you've already listened to my previous pronunciation, right? So you know how it is, how bad it was. Now, I started listening to other people's speech, the way they were speaking this language, and I kind of knew how to speak it. After a while, I was just like Adam. I was just like, hey, I understand you. I totally understand you. But I believe I cannot speak this way. I believe I cannot speak this way. I needed not to contract anything. I needed to sound plain. For example, I knew how to say I wouldn't go there, but I would say I would not go there because I thought that I couldn't. I couldn't because I was learning this language. You see what I mean here? This is a very important point. I'm learning so I can't. I was saying this to me. All right, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I was saying to myself, where are you going? Are you going with this language? Where do you think you're going? I was saying this to me. Where do you think you're going? Where are you going? What do you think you're going? I'm learning, so I can't. That's what I was saying to myself. I was saying to myself, I cannot speak like I was listening native speakers speak because I was still learning. And because I was still learning, I couldn't. Can you understand how this sounds crazy? But it's exactly what is keeping you from having a good pronunciation. You believe you can't. You believe you can't because you're still learning. And I'm sure you can understand that I'm that serious by the way I'm actually saying this to you, right? It's powerful. You think, so you are. And it's so impacting because you may think, where am I going? You may think you're too old. Maybe you are 40, which if you're 40, you're just like me. So I don't think I'm old, all right? Even if you're 50, you're not old. You may say, it's too late. Don't say it's too late, because it's not. We're learning machines. We keep on learning until the day we die. Even on our deathbed, even the moment we are lying on that bed waiting for the moment to die, we're still learning. Every single moment, my friend, of our lives is dedicated to learning. So don't ever think you can't. You want to think you can, because you can actually do it. Come on, if you can speak your language, so you can speak English. There's nothing different. There's absolutely nothing different. So let me go ahead, because there's more, okay? There's more, because we've got some. I made a list, actually. I made a list, and I'm looking through my list right now as I'm speaking with you. I made a list of psychological barriers. What is a barrier? Let me show you what a barrier is, because this is something you really want to understand. Barrier. This is a barrier, right? Just like the one we were talking right now about, I can't, that's a barrier, right? And this is a barrier, and it prevents you to move forward, just like this. You know, like if you watch this, you don't go any forward. You don't walk beyond this, right? And that's it. You know, we build barriers, saying we can't, we're too old, we're too this, we're too that, but we're none of that. And hello BMV, you say I'm 60, still working on my English. Okay. That's right. That's right. And it's good. It's good, BMV. Continue. As long as you don't say to yourself that you can't, as long as the fact that you're learning doesn't prevent you, okay, makes the barrier that makes you say, I can't do that because I'm learning. No, because you're learning, so you can, okay? It's the opposite. You're learning English, so you can have a good pronunciation. Because you learn. Imagine if you weren't learning English, you couldn't expect from yourself to have a good pronunciation. Come on. Can you see it? I'm getting emotional, because I'm feeling this, and I hope that you're feeling the same, because your future is at stake here, okay? If you know this language, a whole world opens in front of you, opens in front of your eyes. So you can't have these barriers, and more than I'm going to speak about it in a second. So you say we've already had a chance to talk, and oh yeah, of course I remember when we spoke together, and you know that my skills, you know what my skills are, yeah. Oh, your course is what I was looking for. Thank you, my friend. Continue to do it passionately. Be patient, be motivated, because it's working. I'm telling you, it's working. But now, let's talk about these barriers, okay? Because the idea of I can't is only one, all right? There's more, because there's the fear of judgment. Yeah, I'm sure you guys experience that. I've experienced that too. Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you more. I actually experienced it here too, because I live in Spain. And because I'm totally focused on English, my Spanish is not great. And I sometimes feel the judgment. And I have this fear, so I totally understand you, okay, with English. And the fear of judgment is that fear that prevents you from speaking, because you're afraid of what the other person may think of your pronunciation. So you kind of stick to what you know, right? Because at least what you know is what it made you go so far. So you don't want to go any further because you don't know, right? And if you don't know what the other people may think if you go beyond that. Like if you have ever said, here, all right, this is it's a pretty strange word to say in English. It's water, all right? But if you've always called this water, or any other variation, you feel that if you start to say water, people may look at you like, why are you saying it that way? But let me give you a wake-up call, my friend. People don't care. People won't ever say to you that what you're doing is different and it's not good. People will say to you, what you're doing is good, continue doing it. I experienced this myself, as I was starting teaching English, I had this doubt. What are you doing? Who are you to teach English? You're Italian. Why would anyone would be listening to you? Who cares? I thought, people may think I thought. But then I realized that I don't care what people think about it, because I know I can help other people, and so I will do it. And you know what, my friend? Nobody has ever judged me for it, unless they were saying something positive. So don't be afraid of changing your pronunciation because of other people. Who cares? Let them talk. They will speak very good of you, actually, if you transform your pronunciation. The day they will not be able to understand you, they will try to imitate you. They won't be saying things like, oh, you're speaking different now. No, they won't say that. We have to leave our friend zone. I think you mean our comfort zone. Yes, Lolly. Yes, you mean a comfort zone. And the comfort zone, right, is the area where you feel comfortable, where you feel at ease, because you are within the area where people don't judge you, because they already know you, and if they know you that way, it's fine. It's what you do beyond that they don't know you, and so you may fear their judgment, or you may not know what's going on beyond that area of comfort, right? So this brings us to the next barrier, perfectionism. And oh man, if you're here and you are a perfectionist, you know you are. Perfectionist is a person who waits to be perfect before doing anything. And this is a problem because perfection doesn't exist. We know this in theory, but in practice, it's so hard. It's so hard. Let me tell you this, okay? As maybe you have noticed that I haven't been publishing those usual 10-minute videos on my channel for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Perfectionism is the culprit. Perfectionism is what prevented me to push publish. I wanted to be perfect, and I watched those videos, the ones I produced. I saw them that they were not as perfect as I wanted them to be, so I didn't publish. Did this do any good to me? No, it didn't, right? So, and would it be doing something good to me if I were publishing those videos? Probably, or at least possibly, right? So nothing is ever perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. So forget about perfectionism, all right? Even if right now your pronunciation is not perfect, it will never be if you never try. It will never be. You may listen to these kinds of videos all day long, but unless you practice a good pronunciation, unless you try it yourself, you won't get there. But that's okay, don't worry, my friend, because I'm gonna give you some practical tips at the end of this minute together, right? Now, if you're a perfectionist, you know it. And if you are, you know I'm speaking with you, okay? You know you can change this. You know you can, okay? You have permission. You have permission because nobody's perfect, all right? Nobody. So it's okay. Now, the next barrier, comparing yourself to others, okay? This is cliche, but it's true. It's true. Like if you compare yourself with another person, to another person, if you compare yourself with another person and you listen to the way this person is pronouncing English, you may say, I'm not at that level and I will never be. And guess what your brain is doing? Your brain is doing exactly what you told it to do, so you will never be that good. Never compare yourself to others. Never ever, okay? No, I'm serious here. Like, let anything aside, just and listen to me right now. You are unique and you're good and beautiful the way you are. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. It's useless. It's completely useless, because even the moment you become like the other person, it won't be you anymore. And because it won't be you anymore, you won't be unique, you won't have anything special, and you will try to find another person to copy. And I guess you understand that this is just a cycle, right? A never-ending cycle. So never copy. Of course, when you compare yourself to somebody else, it's very easy to feel down and then just straight away give up. Okay, so also forget about that. Okay, forget about that entirely. And Irina, a round of applause to you. Oh, thank you so much. And I couldn't wait to be live with you today because I had so much to say. Next, and I read watching too many teachers. Yes. Now I don't like to speak bad of other people, okay? But there's something to say about this, because this is dangerous. There are a lot of people online teaching English, and I'm just one of them, all right? But there are a lot of people who say things you don't have to do. Don't do this, don't do that, don't speak this way, don't use this pronunciation, these are you want to listen to those people. You don't want to listen to these messages. So basically, filter what you see on the social media. If you are scrolling social media and you hear somebody saying, don't say this, don't pronounce this way, or maybe with pronunciation may work a little, but generally speaking, this makes you create a lot of barriers and insecurities rather than help you and fortify. So I'm sure they're great teachers. In fact, keep on watching any other content they make. I'm sure they're making great content, but don't watch those particular videos or shorts or reels on Instagram. who continuously saying things you if you do them you're not good, they are harmful. So don't do it. Don't watch them, okay? Don't watch them. So beware of that. Lastly, this is big. Lastly, the last barrier is the IPA. And you are probably wondering what is the IPA, right? Let me show you what is the IPA. Now, I'm going to show international phonetic alphabet. This is the IPA. The IPA is this. I'm sure too much. A bit less. Okay, I don't know what I did. Anyway, this is the IPA. Can you see this kind of a R with those little slashes? Yeah, or this one. Okay. Don't follow the IPA. IPA is often used to teach English pronunciation, but the point is that it's not even made for teaching English. IPA, or International Phonetic Alphabet, is an international recognized set of phonetic symbols developed in the late 19th century based on the principle of strict one-to-one correspondence between sounds and symbols. So basically, the IPA is just a set of symbols, so a lot of symbols. And now let me put it back into the images so you guys understand. This symbol, I'm sure you've seen these symbols around, okay? And they try to attach to each of these symbols a different sound. Internationally, not for English, these are sounds that should represent every language in existence. Can you understand how crazy this is? So this is why I'm telling you, don't try to even remotely follow the IPA. The IPA doesn't work, doesn't produce anything. At best, it may give you a kind of very posh UK pronunciation at best, but sounds and symbols are very different, especially with the English language. The English language is made by sounds. It's not made by symbols, all right? So forget about the IPA. Do a favor to yourself. Forget about it. I'm telling you this because if you are here watching a video speaking about pronunciation, you may want to also, not only you may want to improve it, but you may have tried improving, and there's a lot of content online using this IPA, but it doesn't work. It does not work. So forget about it. There's a beautiful free online tool. Let me tell you about it. It's great. It's right here on Google, and it gives you the pronunciation. All right, you only need to add the word pronunciation next to a word. For example, let's take this word, international. All right, international. Let me put pronunciation. Okay, maybe I got a wrong word. Let me try with another one. Let's say Google pronunciation. How about that? Yeah. Now look at this. You see here, it doesn't have any IPA. It doesn't have any IPA. It just gives you what it sounds like in regular Roman characters. It sounds like Google. And then you can listen to it.
Google.
All right. You also have, speaking about accents, there's the British pronunciation and the American one.
Google.
All right. This is more closely to the one I actually use, all right, but this is just because I've been living in America for some time, and I've also been living in Australia for some time, and this is why my accent is a little bit mixed. Okay, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Italian, clearly, right? It's a little bit of of everything, but for a reason, because I've been living there, not because I want to try to sound like that. Okay, who cares about that? Remember. Now, this tool is great, it's free, and is available to everyone, everywhere. If you want to know the right pronunciation, this is the place. You can also practice it. Just press this button up here and you're able to reproduce the sound just using the microphone of your built-in computer or phone, right? Now, back to us because we got more to talk about. Let's go actually straight into, let me connect what the last tip I gave you to the next, because now I have the biggest tip of them all. Mindfulness. What is mindfulness and why it's so important? Why it can help you? Maybe you have heard already of this mindfulness. It's a meditation practice. So you may ask me, what does meditation have to do with pronunciation? Why did you connect the two together? For a series of reasons, my friend. Now, mindfulness is basically a meditation practice that involves being fully aware of the present moment. That's all in a nutshell. That's mindfulness. It comes from the idea of being mindful. And to be mindful means being fully in your mind, as in being fully in the present moment. So you also now know the etymology of this word. Now, why is it so important? Because in order to have a very good pronunciation, you want to be mindful of the sounds you're making. Right now, you have already understood, thanks to this almost hour-long lesson, the importance of sounds over words, right? So if so far you've had a lot of written exercises, if you've been learning this language through reading or through writing, well, first of all, anyway, good on you, because you've been doing a lot of work. Also, whatever you've been doing so far, it worked because you are here and you are understanding me, so just for this, you did a great job. But to learn the right pronunciation, you have to go a step further and recognize that the English language is made of sounds, not of words. There's a reason for it, but we're going to talk about the reason for this in another session, okay? Just recognize this, okay? Because if you recognize this, then you're able to speak this way. Think of the word recognize, right? It's a sound. It's written very differently, right? How is it written? Recognize. But I didn't say that. Or if you want to read it using Italian as a base language, then this would have been like recognize. Recognize. Right? That's depending on your language, right? You may, in your language, read this in another totally different way. But what I'm saying to you is that this is just a word, and you don't want to base your pronunciation on that. You want to base it on the sound. Recognize. So you want to be mindful of what you are listening. You want to focus on each sound individually. Yes, you want to just by looking at this word again, you want to focus on the sound, on why do we have this silent E, right? Then you want to understand why this G is silent too, and why this is pronounced in a totally different way, as in I instead of a simple E sound, for example, depending on the language you come from. You want to be fully aware of every single sound in order to then reproduce it. So when you listen to something in English, be mindful, focus very, very closely to what you're listening. So If you have subtitles, take them off. Don't use them. Don't use them. You may think without subtitles I don't understand. I don't think so. But even if you're thinking that, you want to, well, that's just a matter of a habit, okay? We're going to talk about habits in another session, okay? That's a whole totally different story, all right? But using subtitles is just a habit. Either you have it or you don't. If you don't have it, that's good. If you do have it, that's less good for your pronunciation because you need to closely listen to it. How do you do that? Well, whenever you're listening to something in English, use headphones. Use headphones to isolate you, to isolate yourself from the rest of it, from the rest of the room where you are. This is extremely important. This way, you're able to recognize every single sound. Forget about the words. Focus on the sounds you're listening. Now, what else? Then you want to repeat those sounds. And this is crucial because many people stop there. Many people stop in listening. They actually get so far as to actually using headphones, but then they don't repeat. And that's what you want to do. You want to repeat the sound you are focusing on. Let's say, for example, you're focusing on the R sound. Then you want to repeat this sound long enough, being mindful, understanding the way it's pronounced, and say it yourself and being mindful of what you are saying. That this is difficult. This is difficult. It's once again a habit to take, okay? It's just a habit to take, but this is what you want to do. You want to be mindful. You want to be aware of the sounds you are projecting, the sounds you are making. Once again, it's not simple. We do most of the things automatically, but you want to do it. It's the number one most important thing to become fluent, to speak with a very good pronunciation. Now, once you start speaking, once you start realizing what the sounds you're making, it's very easy to judge yourself. It's very easy. Don't do it. Don't do it, my friend, okay? Don't judge your pronunciation. Especially don't judge it badly. Right now, of course, your pronunciation is not perfect. But once you get through the mind, you know, the same mind I told you in the beginning that was against you. Once applying everything I told you so far in this hour-long lesson, you went past this mind, went past every filter, every barrier you had. Once you go past it, it's just a matter of habits, all right? So it takes time. For this reason, don't judge yourself. It's very important. The moment you judge yourself, the moment you say, what are you doing? You're having a bad pronunciation. You are not listening. You're not learning. You're not this, you're not that. Well, guess where you go? You go back here, right? You go back into talking negatively. In your mind, what it does, your mind collects everything and it says, okay. Your mind doesn't judge you. You are judging you. Your mind just says, okay. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Your mind doesn't judge you. It's you judging you. Your mind doesn't judge you. It's you judging you. Your mind just says, okay. You say, I'm not good. I'm not good. You say, I'm good. I'm good. So please do your favor to yourself. Never judge you. Don't judge yourself. Just learn and grow. Learn, appreciate where you are now with your pronunciation compared to where you were before. Appreciate it. Appreciate your efforts. Appreciate you as a person. Appreciate yourself as a person. Just that. I've never heard that before. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so happy to bring something positive in your life, Lolly. Absolutely. Um, what else? Last thing. The last thing is left. Relax and breathe. I said that this practice comes from meditation, right? And what is meditation if not just breathing and relaxing? Now, you want to bring the same thing into your pronunciation. When you're speaking English, relax, relax, breathe. Don't be so tight with your jaw. Of course, your jaw is used to move differently. Your jaw is used to move in a totally different way. And it's normal because you come from another language. You know, it's just like we spoke about this in another live session where I told you about the mechanics of our mouth, you know, which are just muscles, just like the arm, right? If your arm is used to pump a lot of muscles, pump a lot of weight, then you're going to have muscles this way, right? But if you're not, okay, your muscles will be just like mine, you know, and you will need to do some effort. So for this reason, if you keep your mouth tight, or tight, if you keep your mouth not relaxed, you're going to have a not relaxed pronunciation, and that of course blocks you. And every time you feel blocked inside, you start the whole mechanism back again that brings you back to your mind and all the barriers it produces naturally. Okay, so this is a lot, all right? It's a lot to do, and without any guidance, it can be very difficult. I took about 10 years of practice to become this fluent and to have this pronunciation. And it took me even more to realize what I had to do, to be mindful enough to understand how much I had to change. And you know me, if you know me, you know my old pronunciation. Do you want to have a taste of it? Okay, so this is the way I spoke before. Even though I had a pretty good English, this is the way I sounded before. Yes, before realizing I could not recognize. Stop me here, okay? I couldn't recognize every sound because I wasn't mindful. So I know it's difficult, and for this reason, I put together a program that brings you from your zero to your hero state, and it's available for you. And the only thing you have to do to join this program is just join this channel. In a little bit, I'm going to move the whole course outside. So if you don't see any join button, you can always see a link down underneath with join the course, join the pronunciation course, and a link that and a link after it. But that's all you have to do. So in this particular moment, to join this course, as crazy as it seems, you only need to be in this channel as a member, and the price is ridiculously small. All right, you need to get a full fluency pack to have access to this course, and it's, as you can see, it's ridiculously small. It's 25 euros a month if you have a euro currency. Otherwise it'll be a different currency, but it'll be very, very small. And what do you have inside, my friend? Inside you have a sound by sound 40 plus lessons where I show you in each lesson how to focus on a particular sound and how to reproduce that sound to the best of your ability, or better, to the best of my ability at least. So basically, if you want to speak like me, you just need to only join this channel. As easy as that. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be right there with you all the way through. And you know me because Adam is already part of my channel, and Lolly is already part of my channel, Irina is already part of my channel, and many other people are already part of my channel, and they already know all this, and you can be next. So I strongly suggest you to just find the easiest way, because today we spoke about a lot of different things, and we haven't even touched about habits. Having a good pronunciation is all about the habit of speaking this language, and it takes a while. It takes a while to reach it. So the best way is just to stick with a process you already know that works. And it's also extremely cheap. So this is it for today. If you went through all this lesson, you've learned a lot. You've learned, first of all, why your mind is against you. You've learned all about the difference between accent and pronunciation. You learned what's a good pronunciation. You learned also why a good pronunciation is important, and you have also learned all this, right? Like the exponent, like how exponentially big is to have a good pronunciation, how is exponentially is important to have it. Then, well, we went through how unimportant it is to have a B2 level, and then we went through all the barriers. You saw me becoming very emotional about them because I had to go through all of them. And I've also gave you a lot of very useful suggestions about taken from mindfulness, which is a meditation practice to really become fluent and having a good pronunciation starting from today. So if you want to know any more information, you only need to join this channel. You have a great Saturday, and I'll see you back next one with another game. We're going to go back into our vocabulary challenge, and we're going to have a lot of fun together. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.